Welcome, friends and future colleagues, to a new and reinvented Law Gears. You have come to the most interesting legal platform for talk shows and more. We give you candid talks with the people you look up to. So, I'm your host for today, Muskan Naran. I'm a second year law student from DY Patil University. And today we have with us a very special guest, Mr. Ramanuj Mukherjee, sir. He is the co founder and CEO of Law Seekho. Sir, I'm so happy to have you on the show. And this is the first time that we are recording on Law Guys. Thank you for coming on the show, sir.
Thank you, Muskan. I think the concept of log here is very, very good, and I will request all of those who are watching this on any of my social media channels, or even if you are seeing this on the Lawsico YouTube channel, definitely look up log here, subscribe to it. It's a pretty cool concept, and Muskan is doing a good work. We should encourage her, so please support her.
Thank you so much, sir. It means a lot coming from you. So, sir, I was really curious when I was inviting you about the origin story of Law Seekho.
So Lawsico was, before Lawsico, it was not the earliest business I started. There was iPleaders, and we were working with a university to launch online courses for the university as a service provider for the university. But when Lawsico started, basically we had a lot of difficulty working with the university, and at that time we had many ideas, new courses we wanted to launch, and they wouldn't approve, and they didn't want to launch so many courses, and generally it was hard working with the university because so many approvals needed, bureaucracy. Then they were like, you have to give them a very huge revenue share without they doing anything, and it sometimes made the whole courses unviable. And then there was, so we at that time we launched Lawsico, saying that okay, we need a platform where we will launch our courses. And then there was a time when I had set a target for myself that I will launch 100 new law courses on Lawsico. And although I couldn't do 100, I did, I think maybe 15, 20 courses we had launched that back then. And so it was started to get a small revenue every month. And we are not doing much work on it because we are all very busy working for that university project. And then the university project fell through, and there was some litigation, and we got into a lot of legal problems over it. And then we had to focus on Lawsico entirely. And we started doing that, I think, around June or July of 2017. And completely revamped everything. Like, whatever we had learned for almost 10 years of doing online education, we used that to completely create new formats. We wanted to create very high engagement courses where generally online education, people think, it should be low touch, like it should be like recorded stuff and all of that.
Right.
But we said that no, it doesn't matter if it is not scalable, whatever, we don't care. We are going to have really highly engaging courses. And it was very different that time, and nobody else was really doing that. But we did it, and we had a lot of classes, a lot of hand holding, and we decided to have recruitment support, internship support, all kind of things, right? And we launched 5 courses with live classes every week, and assignments very assignment focused. So we said that okay, the most important thing would be that we will give people practical training. So how can you give practical training? That they will do some work and you will give them feedback on it.
Right.
And and it was very different. Even now nobody really does this. I don't know if somebody else is doing it now, because it's a very successful model. So other people probably would want to do it also. But that time nobody was doing this, and we started doing it this way, and it got traction. Like, it was liked by people right in the beginning, right from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And the product, we found a product market fit very quickly. That the market was liking the product, it was working, and we even announced a money back guarantee. Like that time we said that you try our course for a month, And if you don't like it, then between the 30th and the 45th day will give you the money back. And nobody does this. Even now in India, I don't think there is any online course which says that we'll give you money back. They say we'll give you money back. If you don't like it, we'll give you money back. But you have to attend all the classes and you have to do all the assignments. If you don't do anything, you just come and say, I'm not getting time, give me money back. No, that's not the thing. You didn't like the code. You tried it, you did it, you didn't like it. We'll give you money back. Maybe you can't understand. There were some people, I think, some 4 or 5 people till date have got refunds, and they were genuine problems. Like somebody couldn't understand English. Okay. Somebody had a problem that there was a very senior general counsel of a company. He enrolled into a criminal law course, and then he said, "No, I know all these things." After doing it for a month, he said, "I know all these things, not helping me." Right. So I said, okay, fine, and okay, you take your money back. So there have been more such people also, right? So, but it is a simple thing. You do your, attend your classes, you do everything, and then you can claim your money back if you don't like it. But we are betting that you will not claim your money back, that you will like the course so much that you will stay on, because you are getting so much benefit out of this whole thing that you don't want to lose it, right? So this was the whole concept, that we will build something that people will absolutely love. Like, we are taking such a challenge that you do a course and you will not want, even after a month, say a 3 months course, after a month they have seen the course, everything, right? So they might walk away and take a refund, right? But we took a bet that in that 30 days we'll show you that it doesn't make sense. If you're getting this much value, you'll want the whole thing. And people don't take a refund. Like, our refund rate is not even like 1%. It's like 0.00 something. Okay.
Right. So if I were to ask you, who came up with the name of Lawsico?
Name Lawsico, I only came up with it. So I had an idea that the name. So my earlier company was ipleaders, right? Nobody got it right. Everybody will say IP leaders, IP.
Yeah,
leaders.
right.
And it was really irritating, right? So I thought that, okay, this time it has to be like a very simple name that everybody will understand. Not only that, my idea was it should be such a simple name that if I write it behind an auto or on the wall, people will know. Lawsico.com means they teach law. We can go there. There is no mystery. There is no fancy name. Nothing. Very simple. Very basic. If I write on an advertisement just lawsico.com, I don't have to say anything else. People will understand. Oh, lawsico.com. You have to law seek sakte, right? So I can go and learn law there. So that was I wanted just a very basic name, very simple brand wise. So this is why I chose this name.
So you have right now created a magic along with your team when it comes to Lawsico. But I can imagine that whenever somebody is starting a business, they are very doubtful about it. Like, so what was your personal journey with being doubtful, or maybe like growing through the course? The whole journey.
So because I had already built businesses before, so I had an idea about how things work, right? So I had built, iPleaders, and then I had built another business called Click Lawyer, where we were, helping people to do money recovery, find money recovery solutions and so on. And so I had multiple times done that, right? So I had launched courses before. Bar Hacker was a course for the All India Bar exam. We launched back in college when we were in 4th year of law school. We launched it. Okay, so so we had seen some success and we knew how things work. So we had some experience. So when we launched Lawsico, actually everything went right. Everything went right. Like, we did everything right. We launched the right courses. It was in the right price range. It was, the sales was done right. The marketing pretty much happened very quickly. So everything went just the way it should have. And that, there was not much scope for doubt, because you're under a tremendous pressure after all the problems that you faced with, with the NUJS, a lot of litigation going on at that time. And personally, it was a really bad time for me, because I was getting like 2,500, 3,000 students were calling me up and saying, what the hell, why is NUJS not giving us certificates? Then helping them, explaining to them the situation.
Right.
So it was a lot of pressure, but at the same time, I had to make sure that we are launching LawSeco, these new courses, and getting enough money to pay our employees. Because what happened in the last month before that, before I started working on LawSeco, is that we are hoping for a amicable solution or something, and we're trying to talk to people, go and everything, negotiate, but nothing was working. And that month we were able to pay people only 40% of their salary because we didn't have money. Whatever money we had in the bank, there were 30 people. We gave, of course, I and my co-founder didn't take salary, and we gave whatever money was there to the employees, 40% of the salary. And we had to let go 16 people that month, saying that we tried to help them find jobs. And next month, it's like back to scratch. We are starting from the beginning, and we have to get this right. And new courses, and the old stuff won't work because it was earlier selling to the NUJS was their certificate and all that. But we knew that that won't work. And NUJS didn't allow us to change things because they were like, नहीं ऐसे ही करो, ऐसे ही करना है, class भी नहीं लेना है, ऐसे नहीं करना है, वैसे नहीं करना है. To do anything, we have to get an approval, and the approval will take ages. So we couldn't do all the things we wanted to do. So here, for the first time, we sat down and said that, okay, this is how we will run our courses. There will be one class every week. You have to write one article every month and publish. There will be this kind of CV sessions every month.
Right.
There will be, this is how we will do it. Like everything was very different, right? So, and this is the kind of teachers we'll bring because we couldn't feedback. Very critical thing was feedback because in university, if you give it, only university teachers can do assessment. Okay, nobody else can do assessment. But we said that no, we will do assessment because then we can give them quick feedback. The university teachers, they haven't practiced themselves and they give feedback after ages. But we can give immediate feedback, right? Right then, and like within the next 2 days, you draft a contract, in 2 days you get a feedback. Then you will be learning. Or within 7 days, we put a limit of 7 days, or we tried to give it in 2 days, 3 days, so that people get an immediate learning from that. And then they learn from that feedback and they will do another one. So every week they are drafting. Now this was never possible with university, but because we knew that this should be done, but we could never do it. Now we did it, and then there was no doubt actually. There was like, we just have to do these things. Like we have to do all these things so that people start getting benefits, and then only we will take off. And that happened. So we got tremendous response after that, and we worked very hard also, and it worked out.
So now that you're talking about it, I can see that all of the people in your team from the beginning had the same vision for the company. And I think the same vision for everything that you guys are going to do in the future. So how does one bring your team to, have the same vision and have everybody on board with different minds, but having the same vision?
So, same vision. I think the vision comes first, right? Your vision comes first, and then you have an idea, and there are people who will get attracted to that vision. There are people who will contribute to the vision and develop it even further and make it their own, right? So, and you collectively create it. So it is you, somebody comes up and says, yeah, this is what I am dreaming of. This is what I want to do. This is how it should be. And we can do this. This is how we will do it. Then other people come and say, but this is how we will do it. Maybe we can change this. And then it becomes a collective vision over time. But I think, it's very important that, you have something which is very important. You're truly passionate about. A lot of people, they start businesses that are, I can do this so I can make money. That's a different thing. Okay, when you have true passion that, no, I really mean this. I really want this to happen. This is important to me personally. That kind of thing, much more likely to succeed and much more likely to stick it out, when you will be able to do much better when you have that kind of interest and passion in something. So that vision develops like that, and over time vision keeps changing, like it evolves over time. You learn more, you grow as a person, other people grow. So over time the vision will evolve, and so much whatever vision I had to start with, I have learned so much. Like there are people who are investors, there are other big companies who have come and talk to us about buying us, but we did not sell maybe, but we learned from them so much, and the new vision became possible, right? Or there are investors who spoke to us and said, why can't you do this? And then maybe we haven't taken the investment, maybe it didn't work out, but we developed a bigger vision. And so many people, so you have to learn from smart people around you, and people who have done bigger things. If you associate with them, if you talk to them, you learn a lot from them.
Right. So let's talk about how did you meet Abhyuday, and so how was your bonding with him first, and then how did you guys think of this idea together?
Okay, so Abhyuday and I were he's the first person actually I met in NUJS. Okay, so I was moving into the hostel and he was allotted next to me, and our roll numbers were also next to each other. So that's why we got rooms allotted next to each other. And so I was moving in with a table, I think, and then he helped me to carry the table into my room.
Okay.
And then we spoke and we became friends, and we have been very good friends throughout college. Many things we did together. We mooted together. We used to hang out a lot together. We used to read the same books. We used to work on the similar projects. So if there was something I'll do, try to bring him on board. That okay, why don't you also work on this? And that really worked very well. You know? I mean, we had this understanding, and we really, kind of cared for each other also. And we have this natural rhythm that I say something and he gets it, and he says I get it. Like, we don't have too many conflicts or disagreements. Happen sometimes, has happened. We have had difficult fights also, but mostly we don't. We really like each other, and we really are good friends. And I mean, it's just I don't find it as difficult to work with Abhyuday as others. A lot of people I find maybe very smart people, but I find it hard to work with me. But I'm very lucky that Abhyuday is my partner. I think we have a very natural kind of chemistry that you need to have in business partners or any kind of partners. You have a lot of natural. It fits in well. It fits together well.
So you both had the bonding in terms of legal education also. Like, how did you come across legal education personally and also with him?
So it was like this, that see, my first thing I did in college was, I was training people in law entrance exams. Okay, I had to earn money, and I had topped the exam that time when I had given. So I had an opportunity to teach for law entrance exams, and not only teach, I used to create the entire study material, everything for IMS.
Wow.
And I have, and that so I used to do all of that, and I had to take classes. So I used to take classes, and I never used to prepare. I used to remember the entire thing because I had created the content. It was just in my brain. So it so happened that one day I taught somehow in UJS. I taught somebody from L&T, a very senior officer, project officer from L&T, who needed to learn some contract law, and I taught him. I remember standing in his hotel room and giving like a 3-hour lecture straight to him on contract law. And as he learned all of those things, one of the things that he learned from me was that penalty clauses are not enforceable in India. It works as a floor. Sorry, it works like a ceiling and not as a floor. Okay, penalty clauses. So, and he said, "Arey, we are paying penalty all the time at L&T. Why are we paying to government then?" I said, "But this is the law. I will show you. This is the Supreme Court judge." And then we discussed about it, and then he said, "Okay, this is very interesting." Then he went and told in his office that I have learned this at NUJS, that this penalty clauses are not valid. We should not pay. So his boss said, "Okay, you make a presentation on this to our board." So I had an exam. He called me saying, "Ramanuj, you have to give me a presentation." I'm like, "What? You want me to make a PPT? I explained to you. Why don't you make it?"
Right.
I know you make it. And that time I didn't know that how this is going to add up. But I said, okay. And I had an exam. So I paid. One of my friends were not able to give exams because he didn't have attendance. in college. So he was debarred from exams.
Oh.
And now he is a principal associate in a big law firm. But that time this
Wow.
happened, and he was sitting in he was hiding in the hostel because he can't go home. Then parents will find out that he's not giving exam. So he was hiding in the hostel. So I went and told him that, why don't you do this? Make the presentation. This is the law. I'm giving it to you. Just make the presentation and PPT and give it to me, and I'll pay you 500 rupees. So I actually paid him 500 rupees to do this, and he was happy. So I gave this presentation to PPT to this guy, and then he got praised in his office, whatever. All good. So then I was in my fourth year end. Yeah, I had to intern somewhere. This is my third year end. Fourth year, towards the end of my fourth year, and I had to intern somewhere. This is not end. This is like October or something. Okay, like in the I think it's like after the 7th semester or something. We had to intern, and so I normally it had never happened to me before. I had already interned in big law firms, but that time I just applied through the college placement cell, and somehow, despite me having great ranks and great CV, I got rejected from everywhere. Okay, I got rejected from Trilegal, Luthra, Amachan, and I was like shell shocked. What is going on? Why am I getting rejected from everywhere? And I couldn't figure out until I later saw in my CV there are a lot of typos basically. But I was not careful enough to fix my CV. That's why I got rejected. There's no mystery. But that time I was mystified that what is going on, because I have already done internship at Amachan, AZP, JSA, and so I shouldn't be having any difficulty in getting internship. Right. Why is this happening? So when this happened, then I was a little upset and I want to do something else. And I had options. I have got some tier 2 law firms. I have gotten some other opportunities I could get. So what happened after that is that this guy suddenly called me up one day, and he says that from L&T, and he says that we have this huge 700 or 300 crore power project, that some project we are doing with MSCTCL, and I need your help to draft certain contracts for that. And it's like a downstream contracts they wanted to draft. So I said, okay, I'll do it. So I didn't know how to do it, but I said, okay, I'll do it. And then he sent me the contract, and I was like, what is this? This is like some 700-page document, like crazy. And I'm like, where do I start? Where do I begin? And I'm supposed to draft. This is the original master contract between the service provider. And then they will have sub vendors, and they want me to draft 6 agreements with different vendors. And I'm like, how do I read this? How do I understand this? So I said that to understand, it'll take me at least a month to figure this out. So I said, I'll not intern anywhere. I'll do this.
Oh,
okay.
Right.
I will do this for a month, and then also I can't do this alone. So I recruited Abhyuday to do it with me, and one more friend he was from RML. Now he's a partner in a law firm. So he was from RML. I recruited him also on with me. That 3 of us will figure this out and do it. And then at home, I sat down and started reading and this huge thing. Then I got a call from this guy again. He says that, Ramanuj, sorry, my HR is saying we can't hire you to do this. And he was going to pay me also for drafting this contract. He's like, can't hire you, but we can't hire you because this is you are still a law student. I know you are really good, but they are saying that it will not be appropriate. So we'll hire a different lawyer. Our legal team, our L&T legal team will do this, but I'm really sorry. I said, no problem. Is there something I can still do? He says, not really. So I said, okay, I will. So I had read about legal risk management. I said, I'll do something. I have already read the contract. So one, you give me an internship certificate so that I have a certificate. Okay. Second is that I am going to study this, and I'm going to tell you basically we had a conversation before, like what are the areas of profit leakage, where there may be some profit leakage. Okay. Because they had discussed this with me, that contracts have to be drafted in such a way that there is no profit leakage. So I said, identify possible areas of profit leakage. Where are the risks? We'll identify them, and then we will deal with them accordingly. Okay.
Right.
So then you can do whatever you want to do. So he said, okay, you do it. I'll give you a certificate. That I will. So I made a huge PPT. I remember it was like, I think 150 pages or something.
Wow.
So it explained all the risks in that huge contract. And then I sent it to him. And after that, he's like, this is great. So then they invited us to go and speak at L&T in Vashi, their plant. They invited us to come and speak to all the project officers and explain this concept. And then we went and started speaking. And there was like a crowd in the room. Like, so when it started, there were a few people sitting around a table. But as it went on for like 4 hours. And then there was like a crowd of people standing and listening, all these things. I'm like, wow, people are so interested in law because they are dealing with this all the time, right? So they're so interested. So then we had lunch there and he stepped out. When he stepped out, it was me, Abhyuday, and the other person. And Pratik Mohapatra, he's a partner in a law firm now. So 3 of us were like, wow. Then actually, we were already having this legal risk management consultants. We were trying to get work and do legal risk management work. But while we were coming, we were going from Bombay to Delhi by train. And no, Bombay to Calcutta by train. And while being in the train, we were, I got this idea that we need more clients. So how do I get clients? I have got clients whenever I taught people. So if I teach law, they come to me. And the other possibility that we write a book, so they'll have credibility. Right now, they think we are too young. Okay. Not even a graduate. How can law students get a legal risk management work?
Abhyuday sir was saying in a webinar that you believe that if we had a grey hair, more people would come to us.
Grey hair, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was clear because people are telling me, because I am pitching and I say I can do this work, I want to do it. They'll say, all said and done, you are too young, whatever, something like that. Right? Very few people will take a chance on it. Some people took a chance on it, but mostly people were very uncomfortable and they couldn't believe. Like, they're like, we need somebody older, you're too young. So that we had to break. So how could we build our credibility that we are not like other law students? We are like smarter and we are like, we can do this. We know this very well. We are like some wizards or whatever, right? So how can we portray that? So 2 things we found out that one is that whenever I taught people law, they believed in me. They hired me. They gave me work.
Right.
Okay? And then there were people who I have, we started writing a blog that time, but we thought writing a book will be even better. If you can publish a book, then people will believe in it. So these are the 2 things I thought. And that is when I thought that, okay, entrepreneurs is a good crowd to work with, right? We want to work with startups, get work from startups. Yeah. So how do we build a law firm around startups? So if we have to build credibility with startups, we said that, okay, we will create courses for entrepreneurs. And sitting there, we read in the train only. I wrote a syllabus that, okay, this is a possible syllabus. Abhyuday also worked on it. Then we said we are going to pitch this to NUJs in our college. So we went and told, we got a lot of support from Shamnath Bashir sir, then Professor MP Singh. They all supported, and we went and told them that, look, in NUJs, all the IIT alumni and the IIM graduates, they will come and do this course in NUJs. Because they know this is not there anywhere in the world, plus we are building this. And, if we have a course like this, it will be great. So then, the NUJs called a full faculty meeting to discuss it. Professor MP Singh was very encouraging of young people. So called a full faculty meeting where Abhyuday went and made a presentation. I was not there, I was in Bombay. Abhyuday went and made a presentation to the entire faculty. So they gave their feedback that, okay, this is good, this is not good, how we do it, what kind of revenue split will happen. All of that was discussed. And finally, they agreed to launch the course and said that, okay, you become a service provider to the university. You do all the work and revenues, you take a split from the revenue. Right. And this way we started the first course. And this course, when we started, it was we used the same entity that we used to use for legal risk management services. We used the same entity because that is the entity we had back then. So we used that entity for setting up these courses. And that is how we got started. And then we quit out by this time when all this was happening, because it's a university, it takes ages to sign the contract or do anything. So we were already working at law firms, and we chose to work in the same law firm in the same office together, Abhida and I, so that we could still be together and still talk about it, still don't care. We kept the blog going on the background, and this is how we got started.
Right. So I believe that this is a kind of a big vision that you had even as a law student. So
The vision was very small. The vision was that we will teach, then they'll come to us to give work. But once we started working on the actual thing, then I realized that no, this is what should be done. This is much bigger. It's not just about getting work. It is actually about there is true need of education. It's a crazy thing happened once we started. So when we started, we thought entrepreneurs will do this course, right?
right.
But when we launched the course, 80% lawyers signed up, 20% entrepreneurs, yes, 80% were lawyers.
Right.
And they said, Are, we only don't know forget entrepreneurs. We don't know how FDI happens. We don't know how a contract is drafted. We don't know how to do this merger and acquisition, shareholder agreement. We don't know how all these things you're teaching is very good. We want to learn. So then we realized that, wow, lawyers don't know, law students don't know. Then why are we chasing entrepreneurs? And some entrepreneurs were doing it, but way more lawyers were doing it. So then we realized that this is so crazy that there is actually, and by the way, by that time we were working with the law firms, right? So I realized that why is there no such course? I felt terrible that, because we were like always high performers in college, topped and like read everything. I was already doing legal work. I had run my own transactions when I was in 4th year, and for startups, of course, startup investments. And then I am going into a law firm, and I don't know what work they do, how they do it. It's like you're thrown into the sea and say swim. And the funny thing is that they have training programs.
Okay.
But those training programs are completely irrelevant. It's like refresher courses. Somebody's coming and lecturing you on company law. Somebody's coming and lecturing you on contract act, some section. This is not what is needed. What is needed is that, okay, if somebody teaches you step by step how to execute a contract, okay, right, that this is the contract is drafted now. Now you have to go and do the execution of the contract. Like,
right,
how does it happen? Nobody explains that. And everybody only teaching theory. So even in law firm, they have training programs, but all their training programs are theoretical, at least in my experience. I said, ye nahi chalega. Okay. I mean, we need to teach people the things. Like, for example, nobody told me that, before you join a law firm, you should learn these 5-6 skills. If you learn these 6-7 skills, then you will do really well. Then I could have done, I would have gone prepared, and I would not have to make so many mistakes, get shouted so many times, and then, still spending late nights in the office. Why was it happening? Because I had no training. It was like I was trying to learn and do the work at the same time and coping with the whole pressure. And it's very unfriendly environment sometimes because people shout at you and all of that, right? So how do you manage this? So then I really, that also gave a lot of impetus that, we need to have courses like this so that people don't face what I faced.
Right.
And people face this, people who get a job from top law firms, super confident that I am on top of the world. I am so smart. I used to top in school. I used to top in class in law school. I am so smart. I am so great. In internship, I got praised. People loved my work. I got a PPO. But then you start working, you're like, what the hell? Why am I getting shouted at? Because why should people struggle so much? Why isn't there a better, easier way to learn these things? And if you learn these things, your headache goes away. So that really inspired me to start online education courses and create practical education courses rather than teaching the same theory.
Right. So when you always have been very enterprising, then why did you decide to come into law? Did anybody from your family was already in law, or?
No, absolutely not. So in fact, when I did, There was nobody in my family who studied law ever. Okay. And when I said I will study law, my father cried and my parents tried to prevent me from doing it and
God.
become a doctor instead. But I was very sure I want to be a lawyer. Two reasons. One is that I was already preparing for medical entrance. Okay.
So your father.
But then no, no. My parents both. My mother is a teacher, school teacher, and my father used to work in the government as a clerk.
Okay.
In a government of India place. So basically, they just wanted me to become an engineer or doctor. That was the only two choices that time. You give joint entrance exam and you become either an engineer or a doctor.
Right.
So the other thing, the third choice is like teacher. Okay, like
Right.
So for me, I wanted to become a lawyer. Why? Because I went for this career counseling session by Sachin Malan. Now he runs Agami. Back then, he was the founder of LST, Law School Tutorials.
Okay.
And now I think LST, I don't think they use the brand anymore. I think it's part of Career Launcher. Career Launcher bought LST. So what happened is that I was I went to that session and I was very impressed by seeing Sachin Malal, the way he was speaking on the stage and he explained how the National Law University, he used to sell the National Law University, that this is NUJ, this is NLS, Bangalore, this is NALSA, there are these things called mooting and all the things he will say. And after watching the presentation, we were very excited. I was very excited and I said, this sounds like something I want to do in life.
Right.
Okay. And after that, I simply went and told my parents that this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a lot of drama at home. I had threatened to leave the house, and I said, okay, if I don't have my way, if I can't study law, then I'll study English honors on my own.
Okay.
Not, I was very sure that this sounds like a kind of education I want to have, and it will. I mean, I could figure out that this will give me access to understanding how power structures work, how the country works, how systems work, how international relationship between countries work. So I got a sense that I can be like this, and I created this in my head that I want to be a diplomat when I grow up.
Okay.
And after law, I will become a diplomat. So that's why I want to study law. And I have to go to a top national university. And this is what and then I told my parents that if you are not letting me go to study law, then I will walk out of the house and I'll study English honors. And I am not going to give joint entrance exam. Now, whatever you want to do, you do. Okay. And knowing me, they knew I would do it. So they eventually backed down and said, okay, whatever. Yeah, that's how it works.
That's a great note for Indian kids. Whenever you want to convince your parents for an unconventional path.
Oh, I know.
Right. So I was thinking that being for a
now I think parents support you if you want to study law. Parents say that no, you have to study law.
So now engineer, doctor, and lawyer has also been added to the list.
Yeah, absolutely.
In this field. So
now my father doles out advice to other people on how whether they should study law.
That should be an indication that you really made it.
So it's very hard to get a praise out of my father. So once last time he came to Delhi and saw my office, that there are some 30 people working with me, etc. 20 people maybe back then. And he saw everything and said, if you listen to me, you would have become like Sundar Pichai or something like that. Only if you listen to me, because I didn't listen to you.
Right. So this is typical Indian dads. So actually I was thinking it's really inspirational thinking that you've come from a place of people who, something which you've done very different from maybe it was not, your path was not made for you. You made your own path. So actually it's such an assurance. You were earlier, yesterday, I think you were taking a webinar on long-term planning. So it actually was, I told you that I was feeling like I feel really nervous when I think about the future because I'm going to be a first generation lawyer. And I have no connection to any lawyers in my family.
First generation lawyers do better than other lawyers. It's true. I have seen, to have a legacy. I have known personally people who are like third generation, like your father is senior counsel, your grandfather is like involved in the most famous case in the country, and your uncle is a senior counsel, and and such people. You think it is easy for such people? It's not actually. Like, to an extent, yes. I'll give another example. There was a friend of mine who joined our company, wanted to work, he wanted to do startup and do things, but his father is a senior counsel. Okay, and his family is a lot of judges, so he's not allowed to. They got him to leave within a month. The guy couldn't pursue the things he wants to pursue. No freedom to do what he wants to do.
Right.
And then a lot of obligations come. Like, yeah, his family will refer him cases, but they'll want to control him.
Yeah, okay.
Wouldn't give the respect. So now his priority has always been that I need to become independent out of this.
Right. Okay.
Right. I know sons of judges who runs a law firm, but they have shifted cities to a completely unrelated city where nobody knows them.
Okay.
So that they can work and build something in peace. So it's not like that. First generation lawyer doesn't mean that you are, see, if you have a roof over your head, if you have a laptop to work with, you have connection to internet connection, you have food, then you have everything. Like, you don't need anything more to succeed. Like, rest of it you can create. Okay. People say, oh, somebody has connections, so they're getting internship. My parents had no connections, but by the time I finished law school, I was one of the most well-connected people, right? And why? Because see, I taught an L&T project officer on about law, and I got work from L&T. Who introduced me? Whose connection? I would have never been able to do that if my dad said, okay, L&T mein jaake yahan pe, this is my friend, he will give an internship, you do it. Neither that person will respect me. हाँ एक बच्चा है कोई है. Nor will I get to do this kind of work. None of this would be possible, right?
Right. He might oblige you, but won't respect you.
Yeah, sure, you will get a certificate, but you will not get all these experiences, right?
Right.
So this is what it is. Like, I think it is terrible if you are a second generation lawyer and your father is doing everything for you, your family will ensure on every step you are taken care of. This is not helpful. This means you will not grow your own muscle, you will not go. And there are people who blame somebody else. They don't take responsibility. Okay. You show me a person who wants to network and is not able to build a network. I haven't seen anybody like that. Show me one law student who's trying to build a network and is not able to. You have done so many. How do you know me? Do I know? Did your father introduce you to me? How are you doing this?
We were talking about connections and networking. So I was really wondering, how has Law Seco connected a whole range of people? So everybody knows what Law Seco is about. And usually, and such a team, you have such a machinery that even when you sleep, people are working. So it's, it's something which is working on itself and everything. Even like, it was really intimidating for me to converse with you, because there was somebody always in between. Like, there is a PA who is like in between, and I am asking him something and then he reverts to. So like, this is a whole machinery that even if you are not present, your whole team is working behind you. So how does one create a machinery like that?
It's not like we had any capital. We built everything from scratch, right? So you have to start. You start by doing it yourself. Then you master it yourself. Then you hire somebody. You teach them how to do it. Hiring is very difficult when you are young and you are an entrepreneur. You don't have much money. Even if you have money, like you are earning enough yourself, so you can hire somebody. But then people don't want to work with you because you are not a big company. You're not a big law firm. You're not a brand name. Why will they work with you, right? So these problems happen in the beginning, but yeah, then you find somebody who's ready to work with you, okay? And usually that won't be a very talented person in the beginning. right?
Okay.
So still you manage to hire. Yeah, in the beginning you can't. It's very hard to find people who are even willing to work with you,
Right.
right?
So I'm just like curious
So
about how each one in your team has the same vision. Like there is no, even if there might be any conflicts or anything, like there might be any disagreements or they might not agree with the things, they still have a bigger vision together. So everybody is under that thing that we have to benefit Law Seco. So there is like, everybody has this one agenda of benefiting Law Seco, and the whole team has the same vision and everybody's working like clockwork. Everybody's like, so how do you give work to people in such a way that the whole machinery starts working?
this is a very question that would I have to, it'll take very long to answer. I try to give a short answer. So, you develop processes. So you have to realize that it's people who don't work. Results are produced by a system. You have to build that system, machinery, whatever you're calling. So it has different parts. The more simple, the better. So you have to, at least initially, you want to keep it very simple, right? So there are basic things like you have to have a product or a service. So there is something that value that you're delivering, right? It's either a product or a service. Then you need to have a way to sell it. So that is marketing and sales.
Right.
That people have to find out about it. Then you have to convince them to buy it. So you can do that over email. You can do it over phone. So you have to figure out. So you have to have the design in mind that this is how things are going to work.
But is there
And
any
then,
team building thing that you do?
sorry?
Is there any team building thing that you do?
Team building thing. No, we have weekly meetings. Okay, weekly couple of meetings. Then we have one-on-one meetings. The people who report to me, I have one-on-one meeting with them. They have meetings with the people they work with one-on-one. So that happens so that things are in line. Then there are like some softwares we use. So there's a software called Week Done. It's called Objective Key Results, OKR software.
Okay.
Then there is a software called where we have an open source software. It's a Kanban board. Okay, so Kanban board is a visually you can see the work how it is progressing.
Okay. Wow.
So we have a Kanban board that we use, and other than that, it's pretty much you have to build an environment. You need to have good leaders in the organization,
Right.
and then
So
culture matters. So many things.
actually, it sounds so simple when coming from you, but I have worked with several teams. I know how difficult it is to actually get everybody on board with the same idea, and then everybody there, then solving conflicts in case there emerges any conflicts and everything.
Right. So that may be happening because you are seeing the people that you already have and then trying to convince them of the idea. It doesn't work like that. It's a big mistake.
Okay.
What you do is that you start doing something, and then you say, if you like it, then come in. This is what I do. This is what we do. This is the vision.
Okay.
If you like it, you come and work with us.
Okay, awesome.
Then people will come in. Now you sit down and try to convince them. It's not going to work.
Okay.
Right? Because everybody will have different ideas. And why should I listen to you? Why should you listen to me?
Wow.
Right?
This is a light bulb moment for me.
That's great. So you have to say that, okay, this is the vision, right? And of course, you will be willing to listen. It's not like my way or highway, not like that. But this is the idea, right?
Right.
Now it is online, it is practical, it is this, it is that. So for us, all those things are clear. Now somebody comes and says that, okay, we should try this marketing also. We should try marketing it through Instagram. Okay, let's try.
Okay.
Then I may not even agree with it, but sometimes I defer to them. Okay, you are the expert, you do it. Let's see. And sometimes that leads to disaster also. Then they themselves scale back. No, this is not working. Right?
Okay. Wow. Okay.
But sometimes things are so heated or so important that I can't afford it to make a mistake. So I go and say, look, this is what we know. This is what has been working for all this while. Right now, I can't afford to do an experiment. Right? Finally, I am responsible to pay salaries to everybody. So we do this right now. When we have more leeway, we have more money, we have more time or whatever resources, then you do your experiment. But try things as experiments.
Okay.
As a manageable experiment, right? So if you're saying that we should do sales in this way or our website should look like this, okay, do an experiment and see if it works better. Find out data objectively from data, what works better.
Right.
Right?
So has there any time been a low low moment for you?
Yeah, a lot of low moments happens. So part of being an entrepreneur, there are ups and downs, highs and lows. Yeah, so I, one low moment definitely was, you know, when all this happened with NUJs and students not getting certificates, they being upset. That was a very bad moment
Right.
in this journey. Uh, Bad low moments. I mean, it happens like, sometimes we have not reached our targets, we're struggling for too long, and then another very big pain point is that you train somebody to do some work and then they leave.
Yeah. Okay.
So these kind of problems, yeah, something sometimes you feel bad, or sometimes you're like, is it like there are such problems that you are trying to figure it out or not getting figured out, and then you're like, is there no solution to it? Do I have to live with this problem all my life? And
Right.
then you might feel really bad. But then, yeah, it's actually eventually everything gets figured out one way or the other. It takes time. Takes time,
Okay.
takes effort.
Right. So, just the last question. I know there is a restraint of time. So, I wanted to ask you in the last that what has been your highest point in life, like either in life or in like coming up with Law Seco and throughout your journey.
Yeah, so one thing that made me very happy. So I had set a target that, I will give a pay hike to all my colleagues. Like we want to pay as much as like a good law firm pays. Like it's a large law firm pays salary, we want to pay the same level salary
Mm-hmm.
in our company. But for that we have to be highly profitable also. We have to be like, that good, like our things have to pan out. So earlier we used to pay very less, like, maybe, I mean, what a very lower end law firm will pay, used to pay like that. But then we became shared paying as good as a mid level law firm,
Wow.
at least. So that time I felt very happy, and we gave a lot of hikes to people. We doubled people's salaries,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people got a hike of like 40%, 50%, and I felt very happy that it's a great. I mean, it's like a personal achievement that now we are able to pay people. So I have another target that you would want to give another such hike very soon in the next few months, hopefully, maybe next month or the month after that, and then we want to make our office. Right now we work 6 days a week, and we want to make it 5 days a week. So that will be another high point. So
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. So these are some of the milestones that you have.
Yeah, these are big milestones. There are revenue milestones, like, every 6 months we double our revenues. So that's the target, that every 6 months we should double our business.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
those, when we achieve those, it's also big milestone. We feel good.
right. So you've taught yourself all these, things about business and everything, holding a business and
Yeah, that's true. It took a long time to learn. Like
through books.
biggest books, mostly by doing, making mistakes. Some through books also.
Mhm.
But yeah, books definitely help a lot. But you have to do things. I mean, once, like, I think the first, I think 5 years or something was just learning. And I mean, it feels now that we are doing something, like it was our learning period.
Okay.
Then also it did something. It's not like it did too badly. We did fine. But now it feels like, yeah, we can see like a really big impact on us. We can multiply this fast. We can do something very big, and because of all the learning that we had over the years. One of the biggest challenges was to learn how to build a good team, how to get people to be productive. Still learning how to keep a team together, how to keep them inspired, encouraged. There's so much to learn.
Right.
It's great, crazy. Like how to sell, how to do marketing. There is no. It's like an infinite sea of learning. Yeah, as
Right.
much as you can.
So thank you so much, sir, for coming on the show. And I'm really happy that you could come to a show as small as mine is right now. So thank you so much, sir. And you've given us so much knowledge
That
here.
nothing is small.
Right.
Yeah, nothing is small. You have a good intention and you're doing good work. So your work is not judged by the results alone. It's also by the effort and by the intention. So do good.
Thank
Don't
you
say
so
it's a
much.
small project.
Thank you.